we're going to talk about bridal alterations as well as veils. And how many of you guys have your gowns already? Okay, so most of you, right? You do. None for you, right? Yeah, and then there's some of you that might actually have the gown already in process right now, which would be you, right over there. Okay, all right. So, and then you already ordered your gown, you already have your gown, all of that, is that correct? Okay, is that true? Okay, and then how many of you have already made an appointment with an alterationist or seamstress? None of you? Oh, wonderful. Oh, yes, you.
I did, yeah.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Okay, the purpose of our talk today is to kind of let you guys know what to expect during an alteration session, and only because we repeat this information every single time. Every single time one of you will call us, we'll let you know this is what you need. Okay, now, so we'll go off really quickly here, and then you guys can ask questions. And so the first thing, as you can see all these different types of gowns, first things that we're going to ask you to bring is your the actual undergarments that you plan on wearing. Every bra you wear is different. You know, the different little push-up bra from Victoria's Secret, the ones that make it come all the way up here, you know, or the corset ones that, you know, does all of this, sucks all this, moves everything somewhere. And then also like the Spanx too. Every type of garment that you wear underneath your gown fits you completely different. Okay, so we've had this happen. Girl comes in with a bra, a strapless bra, and you can see it's all ratty. Is this really the bra you're going to wear? Oh, yeah. Midway through the thing, she'll change it, and guess what? The alterations that we did, now the gown is either too small or too big because the bra changes the way that your bust fits the gown. So that's why we always say, make sure that when you come to the alterationist, be prepared with your undergarments, that bra or, you know, the Spanx, if you're planning on doing anything like that, and then also your shoes. A lot of you ladies don't buy your shoes right away. It's usually one of the last things you buy because you're always looking on Zappos, you're looking at the bridal shops, you're looking everywhere for that perfect shoe. Now, if you do not have your shoes, the pair of shoes that you plan on wearing with your gown, what you want to do is you're going to want to bring a reasonable facsimile of the shoe that you plan on wearing, the heel height. So, for example, Vanna, thank you. So you said, okay, I'm going to wear a gown or wear a shoe that's going to look like this. It's going to be about this height. Now, there are two ways that the shoe companies show you what the heel height is. One is the shank of the shoe, which is on the inside. Now, this means nothing to me because in here, when you measure it, it measures to be about 2.5 inches. But this is not a 2.5-inch heel, ladies. This is, in actuality, a 4-inch heel. Okay, so this means that this shoe is going to prop you up 4 inches from floor. Okay, so when you come in and says, okay, Andrea, Lei, I don't have my shoes, but these are the heel height that I plan on wearing. When you go and you buy your shoes, you take this with you. And then you literally put them on the counter and you see. Because if you've already been in here, we've already marked your gown, and if you buy a shoe that's a little bit higher, what do you think is going to happen? Gown's going to be too short. And lately, these ladies have been wanting them dragging on the floor. I said, okay, whatever you want to do. It's like, it's okay. Because, you know, when you stand there with your shoes on, it's touching the floor. But then when you start walking, you start bouncing. And then the hem will start to crawl under. So these are the kinds of things that you have to consider, making sure that the shoe is also comfortable, because some girls, I don't wear heels anymore. I just don't, because I'm old. So, I'm Asian, I know I look young. So, so then, edit that out. So then, if you normally wear like a 2.5-inch heel, don't stray too far from that, because you're going to wear these shoes longer than any pair of shoes you will ever wear. Okay, so you start off at the crack of dawn, getting your face done, hair done, and then you got your little tennis shoes on. The next thing you know, you're getting dressed into your beautiful gown, you got your shoes on, and they look all pretty, and the photographer, videographer taking beautiful pictures. Halfway through that, you get down to the aisle, your feet are screaming. You're like dying. It's like, I don't want to wear these shoes. No, baby, you got to wear them dang shoes because
That's
the gown is altered to the length. You have to wear them. So that's again. So those are the kinds of things you think of. Now, some girls actually change shoes at the reception, just because of that reason. Now, my sister, being only like this tall, one of her favorite things to buy are those great, like Fred Munster, what it called, slippers. Yeah, you laughing because you own a pair, right? You know those huge. Yeah, see, I know. See, they always want to wear those tall shoes. That's another way to get away from not wearing the heel, but then being able to still have some height. So those are the things. So again, undergarments and shoes, two of the most important things. Okay. Next thing you're going to have to worry about. How many of you guys are going to go on a workout program where you guys are going to lose 1,000 pounds before your wedding date? I want to know right now. Okay, because we always hear that. Okay.
Always.
Yeah.
We always see that.
Okay, so my wedding is in 6 weeks, but I want to lose like 50 pounds before my wedding date. So can I start my alterations 2 weeks before? And by the way, my wedding's in July. July 20th to be exact. Yeah, no. No. Because you have to give the seamstress time to work on it. And especially if you have multiple things that have to be done, you really, really need that extra time. Because remember, I know it's hard to believe, but there's more than one bride getting married on your day. And chances are, here at the bridal office, we'll have about 10 of them, you know. And so when we have all those gowns in production, we have to give each and every one of you guys the same amount of attention to your gown and to you as well, to be fair. Okay, so we always ask for the alteration times, you get between 6 to 8 weeks. Now, with that said, if you already have your gown, but you're not ready to make that alteration yet, because we're losing 1,000 pounds before the wedding, you need to make the appointment today. Okay, so if your wedding is anywhere near the summer, that appointment should happen now with whoever you choose, whether it's us or anybody. Yeah, it doesn't matter, because if they are your preferred alterationists or the seamstress you want to touch your gown, they book up quick, really, really quick. We have a team of seamstresses that actually perform a lot of the work. Lei and I do all the fittings. We are your face. We're the ones that we're actually touching the gown and pinning it to make sure that it fits well with you. And we have this dialogue with you. We make sure that all of your needs are met, okay? And then the worst thing that you guys can do is to keep your mouth shut. If you don't like what we're doing, you need to tell us right away. I can't fix it after you go down the aisle. You've got to tell us. It's like, Andrea, I don't really like this. I want this neckline plunging to my navel. Okay, we can do that.
It happens.
It happens. It happens. It happens a lot. Okay, so those are really, really quick things. Now, when you come in and do an alteration anywhere, now especially if there's some bridal stores that actually offer services located in their salon, if you haven't chosen your veil yet, that's the perfect time to look at them, because you're going to be able to look at yourself in your gown, and then you try your gown on, or your veil on. That's when you can try. And then people say, they'll say, oh, okay, well, I want a birdcage veil. Well, you don't know how it's going to look unless you try it on with your gown. You might like it in your street clothes, but the minute you put on your gown, you're going, ooh. You sure don't want to go down the aisle when all your guests are saying, obviously she didn't have any friends to tell her that was not good,
We say that all the time.
We do. Okay, so let me stop. Do you guys have any questions yet?
And can I touch on one thing?
Oh yes, please do.
As far as our appointments, like Andrea said, definitely book soon. So I can give you an example on how busy as far as we are. If you're looking for a Saturday, we're booked through May. So you gotta. That's the importance of getting your alterations done, and you have to make sure you're picky on who touches your dress, because this dress right here is actually a dress that we've already touched, and so most people wouldn't know. And so we brought that out to show you. Our goal is to make sure that the dress doesn't look like it got altered. And that's what any bride, I believe, would want. And so as you can see, we've touched almost every seam on this dress, and you can't even tell.
Side seams here were taken in, but it fits really nicely here.
Yeah. And her wedding is in April. She came to see us in December to get this dress. So that's if you can book now, book now. Right. Get your alterations, especially if your dress needs some altering, and if you want a whole different bodice, your dress came straight across and you want a sweetheart top, that takes time. It's not as simple as, you know, when the salesperson tells you, oh, it's a simple alterations. It is a simple alterations, but it takes time. So definitely make sure you look at your calendars. And if you want to book an appointment with the bridal loft this evening would be great. Just come and see one of us. So,
Angela,
but
or
we can let Andrea will continue.
Oh, okay. Okay, so no questions yet? I'll keep rattling. Okay. Now, the other thing too about alterations, just because someone refers them, that doesn't mean that you're going to like them.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody could refer you to me, and then you're going to go home and say, oh my God, she was a bitch, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. You know, you have to make that decision. Our personalities should match, you know, or you should like what we're doing. And then Lei and I are actually very direct. You know, we'll say, oh girl, don't you want to do that. But it's the whole idea is when you walk down the aisle with your gown, you're representing our work. I don't want you to look crappy because people talk, and especially the vendors. And so we want to make sure that we're proud of our work when you walk. And then we also want to make sure that you feel comfortable with our expertise. You do not need to, you know, if you come in, and for us now, each person or each seamstress should give you the ability to walk away, okay? We've had a wonderful example for this gown here, Ashley.
Yes.
Now, if your gown is pretty big, it needs to be pinned, you know, like, so this
Like
is.
this one is,
right.
this dress right here, this dress is about a size too big. So we have to pin it, we've pinned it here to let the seamstress know that they need to take it in from the panel into the zipper to bring this dress to fit her on the bodice. So that's what this is.
Yeah.
This example here, this bride who came to us, she actually went to an alterations and they did not pin her dress. They just told her we're gonna take a little off the shoulder and just cut off 2 inches off the hem. Now luckily, she came back to us to see the way this dress falls, you actually can't just cut the dress. You actually have to measure it because there's some design here that creates the hem to go at an angle. So you wanna make sure when your alteration, when you're going for your fitting, they pin your dress.
Right.
That's just an example. Pinning is very important.
Because otherwise, we don't know. And
don't know.
the unfortunate thing is that we've had a previous bride that went to the same location. I will not tell you who it is, so don't ask. And, but what happened? Honey, you want me to tell you? Have another cookie. So I think he's my son.
And to the thing.
So it was done that way, and she, you know, the bride had assumed that yes, okay, she seems to know what she's doing. Well, the work was done, the hem was off, like this. Yeah, and it was really bad. It was really bad. And for a seamstress, working on a previously altered garment is a nightmare. It is a nightmare because, you know, a lot of people don't do it the right way, you know, maybe because there was budget constraints, so they'll cut corners. They'll literally cut corners. My mantra is, if it's a bridesmaid's dress, if you love it, spend the money to make it fit because you're gonna wear it again. If it's like, it's okay, then just do it so that it gets by. You know what I mean? But on a wedding gown, spend the money. Spend the money. And just because they're expensive doesn't mean that they're always going to do a good job. We are not. Just for us, we're not the most expensive, but we're not the cheapest. But we do guarantee our work. Okay, so then these are the kinds of questions that you need to ask your seamstress. What is it that you do? How many years of experience do you have? And we get that all the time. How many years have you been doing this? It's like too long. I don't know, 15, 20 years or something. And so with that, you know, comes a comfort to you folks that, you know, we have touched these gowns. You know that, and you feel comfortable that we know what we're doing. And then the other thing too, do your research, ladies. Do your research. Even if someone gives you a recommendation, do some research. This is the World Wide Web. There's so much information. People got to talk good or bad on Yelp, City Search, Google, whatever. Just go and look. Just do your research. Because in that way, you can make a more informed decision. This is going to be the most expensive dress you will ever buy. Ever. Okay? And then it's also the most important dress hopefully, one,
That
that
you-
you will ever buy.